Hello Wrexham fans. How are you? I hope you're doing well, and look, there are 4 bombshells, and 2 about new surprise signings for Wrexham. Stay until the end and I'll tell you everything and more. But first, subscribe to the channel and leave your like, to receive all the main news from the Red Dragons. Before I tell you the big news, here are the latest and main news from Wrexham AFC. Do you remember 2021? When Rob McElhenney and Reynolds took over Wrexham? Well, at that time, many people thought it was just a marketing stunt. But it only took 1 season for everything to change. The club became a worldwide sensation, and with the success of the series Welcome to Wrexham, interest only increased. And this interest didn't just stay on the screen. It turned into investment, it turned into business, and the club started to attract huge sponsors. TikTok, United Airlines, MetaQuest, HP, Stock Cold Brew. Believe me, 5 years ago, this kind of partnership was just a distant dream. Today, it's become a reality in Wrexham's daily life. And there's more news coming. The latest is the addition of Ancestry. Yes, the famous family history platform. It is now Wrexham's official family history partner. And as part of the deal, the club's new training kit will feature Ancestry branding during the pre-season tour of Australia and New Zealand. And of course, Rob and Ryan didn't let this go unnoticed. In a good-natured tone, they both said, "Ancestry is an incredible brand, and if it can help us understand all the Davies, Williams and Joneses in Wrexham, it's worth it." The club's CEO, Michael Williamson, also commented on the deal. As our anthem says, history only tells stories. And there's no better brand to help us tell those stories than Ancestry. This partnership isn't just about football, it's about connections, heritage and identity. And the coolest thing is that the deal isn't limited to the training kit. It also includes travel apparel and other special activations. Ancestry's vice president, Attica Jacques, explained Wrexham's choice. Wrexham represents resilience, pride and tradition. Like Ancestry, the club is built on authentic storytelling. This partnership invites fans to explore not only the team's history, but also their own roots. And for those excited about pre-season, Wrexham face Melbourne Victory this Friday, and the new Ancestry kits will already be on the pitch during warm-up. And look, Ollie Palmer, 33, has already made his mark at Wrexham, 42 goals in 149 appearances over the last 3 years, and many of those goals were simply crucial to the club's historic promotions. But what now? Will he add to those numbers? Or are we about to see a farewell? In recent weeks, several rumors suggest that Palmer may be preparing to follow the same path as Paul Mullen and leave the club this summer. Despite the possible departure, Palmer made it clear that he is grateful for everything he experienced at Wrexham. In a video posted on the club's official YouTube channel, which, by the way, is worth watching, he shared a little behind the scenes of his arrival in 2022. And believe me, not everyone thought he should sign for Wrexham. Here's what he had to say. "A lot of people told me not to sign for Wrexham, but after I spoke to the boss, Phil Parkinson, I felt it was the right decision. I believed in the project. Everything he said ended up happening. And I'm very happy I made that decision." Palmer also commented on his affection for the city. "I moved with my family to London, but Wrexham has become my second home. It's a place I want to return to in 20 or 30 years, to be welcomed and to be able to watch the games with affection and pride." And he added, "These were, without a doubt, the best 3.5 years of my career." At the time, he made a bold decision. He left AFC Wimbledon, which was in League One, to play in the National League with Wrexham. And in the end, this was a move that changed the course of his career, and the history of the club too. But what about the future? That's still up in the air. During Wrexham's pre-season tour of Australia, the role Palmer will occupy in the squad could be a sign of what's to come. The problem is that he has lost his place with the arrivals of Sam Smith, Ryan Hardy and Jay Rodriguez. And according to insiders, Phil Parkinson has already made it clear that Palmer is free to look for another club this summer. Last season, he made 31 appearances, but was cut from the last 18. This is a clear sign. A player who has lost his place in League One is unlikely to be used in the Championship. So, yes, it looks like the Ollie Palmer era at Wrexham is coming to an end. Now, let's move on to the third bombshell. Forward Callum Wilson, a former England player who had a memorable spell at Newcastle United, is a free agent. His contract ended last week, and Wilson is now officially available to sign for a new club. And guess who is being touted as a possible destination? Yes, Wrexham AFC. At 33 years old, Callum Wilson has a solid career. He scored 49 goals in 130 games for the Magpies, one of the team's main names in recent seasons. And he cost around £20 million when he was signed by Newcastle from Bournemouth back in 2020. Now, without a new contract with the Magpies, Wilson has already said goodbye to the fans with an emotional message. To all you Magpies, it's time to say goodbye after an incredible few years at the Toon. I'm really proud to have worn the number 9 shirt and scored goals at Gallowgate. It was really special. Newcastle will always have a place in my heart, and in my family's heart. With Wrexham now back in the Championship after a third successive promotion, it's only natural that the club are being linked with more experienced names who can make a difference at a higher level. Callum Wilson is still attracting interest from Premier League clubs, but Wrexham's ambitious project, coupled with the likes of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, could end up convincing the striker. Just imagine Wilson arriving at the racecourse ground to lead the Red Dragons' attack. He would be an immediate signing, with experience and an eye for goal. And to end today's video on a high note, some news that could change the course of Wrexham's season. Could the biggest signing in the club's history be on the horizon? Wrexham AFC have gone from the 5th to the 2nd division in just 5 years, and are now about to face the biggest challenge of their journey so far, the dreaded Championship, the second toughest division in world football. This is the first time in 43 years that the club has played in this division. And as you already know, it won't be easy. Birmingham City, their direct rivals, were champions of League One with 111 points, beating Wrexham's 92. And just to mention, Birmingham also has a famous owner, none other than NFL star Tom Brady. In other words, the duel is now not just on the field, it's also between celebrities from Hollywood and American sports. And to enter this fight with a bang, Wrexham is doing something they've never done before, opening up their coffers. According to British newspaper The Mirror, the club led by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney has reached a £5 million deal with Nottingham Forest to sign midfielder Lewis O'Brien, a player who recently played in the Premier League. If the deal is indeed completed, it will be the biggest signing in Wrexham's history, easily surpassing all previous signings. O'Brien has quality and experience and spent last season on loan at Swansea City, where he excelled. But at Nottingham Forest, he has had few minutes and is looking for a chance to shine with more prominence. But there is one catch. O'Brien's salary is high, and this could be an obstacle for Wrexham to make the signing official. The club is trying to balance its accounts without going over its limits, despite the heavy investment from the owners. Still, the negotiation is ongoing, and if it goes through, it will be one of the most memorable moments of the next season of the Welcome to Wrexham series, which will continue to document everything up close. And the question remains, will Wrexham secure their 4th consecutive promotion and reach the Premier League? Do you believe in this dream? Or do you think the Championship will be a test of fire? Comment below, I want to know your opinion. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share this video with other fans who are following this cinematic journey. See you in the next video. See you later.